I don't expect anyone to look at me on social media and go, oh yeah, this guy should sell my house. Welcome back, it's Arhan here, the Real Estate Nerd, and welcome back to another weekly Wednesday catch-up. Last week I talked about the different things I was doing in socials. I finished phase one of my three-phase system that I'm sort of trying to work out. Now, it's completely different. I haven't really done this before. It's my first time trying out an actual phase-by-phase system. Last 2 weeks were focused on getting mass exposure out there, building an organic reach through my socials, and building up the good habits of putting in the consistent work and the daily efforts. Results for the last 3 weeks were phenomenal with terms of my social reach and outreach into that regard. I also feel like I got a little bit lucky, but let me break it down for you. Last couple of weeks, I think organically, I've reached close to around 50 to 60,000 people organically without a single dollar in paid advertising, which is fantastic. I use the Gary Vee model and the Alex Hormozi model and the Grant Cardone mindset, where it's just about quantity. Right now, I'm building out the quantity because that's what will bring in the quality, and it will bring in the mass exposure. I'm a brand new agent, but I've already picked up so much more traction. Like, I've actually spoken to people now who somehow knew who I was, which is really good. Plus my colleagues who I'm sort of working with alongside here, they've all been seeing my stuff, which is great. But I've also picked up on the fact that a lot of people are going, how are you doing all of this? Now, that was a big question I had. It's called time management, and batch filming is the secret to this. It's batch filming. That's all I do. I do all my filming and editing and all that sort of stuff in a combined effort and plan out the rest of it. So last couple of weeks, my family's been through a lot of sickness. Kids were really, really sick the first week. I got really sick last week as well. Despite what most people might not know. What does help is keep doing the work, keeping active, maintaining a healthy diet, and all those sort of things, which is really, really important to me at this point, because a healthy body and mind allows me to do the work. So even though I was sick, I wasn't as sick as I normally get because I've been cleaning my diet out, I've been exercising regularly, and the goddamn cold plunges, I swear to God, I think it's helping. Every morning, jumping into freezing cold water for like 3 to 5 minutes, it's actually helping keep my immunity up, or maybe it's just a placebo. I don't know. Now, aside from that, in terms of actual monetary success, well, the last 2 weeks actually yielded in, I wouldn't say direct, but indirect leads come in. So I actually ended up getting 3 successful leads, which resulted in close to, I believe, around $40,000 of business. But I don't keep the entire 100% of that. I've actually, those leads were interstate back to in Adelaide, where I come from. So I passed that on to my team down there. So I'll get, a 30% cut of that, which is still pretty good for the fact that, the social media exposure helped get back in front of the clients. Now, I don't use social media as a way to build or generate leads. I don't use social media for lead generation. I might have a very controversial opinion on this, but I think social media is the worst kind of lead generation for real estate. Why? Because it is a high trust industry. You are playing with people's biggest assets 99% of the time, and there's a lot of trust in all of that. Now, I don't expect anyone to look at me on social media and go, oh yeah, this guy should sell my house. Maybe in time, once I've got enough content out there and I can prove an established track record that I know what I'm talking about, that I have the knowledge, that I have the skills and the expertise, and the numbers back it up as well. But right now, when you're in the build-up phase, if you're in real estate, you know that you have to do the cold calls, you have to do the door knocks, you have to do the basics. The basics work for a reason. So my goals going forward in these 2 weeks is actually going to be to saturate the marketplace with cold calls and door knocks. Basically to build up my database. So I'm hoping to generate 10 appraisals over the next 2 weeks. So I'll let you know how I go, and probably next week I'll be able to let you know how I go with that. So the way I look at it is, they say you need, as an established agent, you need to do 100, 200 phone calls a week of prospecting. I'm gonna times that by a lot more. I'm gonna try to do 100 a day. That's the sort of goal here. Is try to get 100 calls in a day to get that way of speaking refined again, to actually approach people in a positive manner, to show them that, look, I'm in town, and build up a database. I'm not expecting to get any listings out of this, but hopefully generating some appraisals. Because right now, the market is in probably one of the toughest conditions it's been over the last 3 years, where there is not enough stock on the market. Now, there are various different reasons as to why, but that's gonna come in my Friday video, where I'm gonna do a real estate breakdown about the Gold Coast and the real estate market in general, what I'm seeing based on different facts and figures around Australia. In order to beat the average, beat the slump, I have to do the quantity. I'm gonna have to do the hard work, and there is no secrets about this. Real estate's one of those beautiful industries where it's so simple, and yet it is so hard because it's so simple. It's boring as batshit. It can be so boring for so many people to do the same things repetitive day in, day out. For me, I kind of like repetition. It makes it easier for me. I know what I have to do on a daily basis, but I'm also somebody with ADHD. I need that spontaneity, and I need that expression, and I need that excitement. Sorry, not expression. I need that excitement. And without that excitement, I get bored. So the way I combat the boring side of real estate is to actually do the boring work, which actually leads to the exciting work, which is meeting the people face to face, talking about the property, talking about what the market's doing, listing the property, selling the property, meeting buyers, meeting other agents. And just, if I do the boring work, it will lead to the exciting work. And that's where a lot of people go wrong. They want to ignore the boring and they just want to do the exciting stuff, which is making the video content and all that sort of stuff. Yes, this is exciting, it's fun, it's new, it's innovative, but that's not all to the equation. Now, unless you've got a huge marketing budget, which I don't right now, video will not really work that well. Socials would not really work that well. If you are an agent who has no marketing budget and no database, no nothing, the only way to get ahead is to do the work. That is doing the cold calls, doing the door knocks, and use all the free marketing. So the reason I'm doing so much on social is because it's free. It's free exposure, it's free marketing. It doesn't cost me a cent to post all of this, which is fantastic. So in terms of my weekly build-ups, I've started to get my health and mind in order, which is really, really good. I've got my mindset motivations, which is really helping me every day. And aside from that, I'm actually seeing results from the work that I'm doing. Now, I'm not looking at this as a short-term result. I'm looking at the long-term results. I'm getting the lead, I'm getting the exposure, I'm hitting the goals that I want to hit. Now, the only reason I'm doing socials is to help build out my brand, which is reputation. That's it. I'm using this to build my reputation so that when somebody looks me up, there's enough content of me out there that they can see that this guy is consistently doing the same thing. I'm doing this to journal my journey, hopefully inspire somebody else and build my reputation, because this is the best form that I can think of to do that. Be persistent, do the hard work, and do the mundane. Like, you gotta have persistence and ambition. Persistence and ambition. Keep persisting, keep aspiring for more, and have good motives for it. Part of my project over here over the next few weeks is also find and partner with people who want the same thing. So if you're an agent out there and you're watching this, you're in the Gold Coast or Queensland area, you want to work alongside me, you want to work with me, and you're looking to start up, even if you don't have real estate experience. If you're a new agent and you want to do stuff, let's talk. I'm happy to listen and see if we're the right fit. So if you're an agent out there and you like that sort of mindset where, you know, we're going to do the work, if you want to hustle with someone, let's partner up. Let's do it together. So if you're in the Gold Coast region, hit me up. Let's chat. But aside from that, that's my weekly wrap up. Next week, I'm going to give you the results of what I go from cold calling this week, and any door knocks and how much data I collect and all those sort of fun things. And next week, we'll break down how the socials and the second phase, which is doing the basics. How does that all combine together and how fruitful it actually is. So yeah, keep along and let's find out what week 4 holds. Bye for now, guys. Oh, week 5, I should say.